Hey friends, it's me Jen at Snapdragon Quilting, and today we're talking about rotary cutting. What it is, why we do it. Rotary cutting is a lot like cutting a pizza. We take a nice big round blade and we just roll right through. And in quilting, we're going to cut generally a lot of straight lines right through our fabric. And so rotary cutting really speeds up the process. So this is worth learning. The skill will save you a lot of time and energy and help you get your quilts done faster. If you're uncomfortable using a rotary cutter, of course you can still use scissors. It just might take you a little bit longer. So let's jump in. There are two main designs for rotary cutters. One is like this with a just single straight handle. You can use it left-handed if you're left-handed and right-handed if you're right-handed. And the other is more ergonomic with a handle that fits in the palm of your hand. This one can also be held with a finger on top. This one is designed for people with arthritis or elbow or joint pain. It works beautifully. You'll also notice something that's different between these two is the size of the blade. And so this is I will turn it this way. This is a 45 millimeter blade, which is considered the standard size. And this is a 28, which is a smaller size blade. It's nice to have a smaller blade when you're cutting a small curve. It bends around the curve better. Generally, I rarely use my 28. I most often use my 45, even when I'm cutting curves. Let's talk about safety devices. Because these rotary blades are so incredibly sharp, it is really important to be careful with them, of course, and to use the safety. On this 28, the nice thing about this blade is the safety is pressure engaged. And so all I have to do is press and the blade is exposed and I can cut with it. Now the safety on this device is quite different. It is loaded with a spring here and it has to be rotated open and close. The nice thing is there's also this rubber guide on the bottom, and so to open this blade I can simply roll it and the blade will be opened. And then it is designed so that either the middle finger or the first finger can be used to just flip the switch and this safety is closed. And so I would encourage you as you're learning how to rotary cut to really make a habit if your rotary doesn't auto put the safety on like my 28 millimeter does, make sure that you just flip it closed as soon as you're done. To prevent injury with rotary cutting, it's always a good idea to use a ruler. And the goal is to get the blade of the rotary cutter to sit right up against the edge of the ruler so that you can glide up against it, creating a very accurate cut. I'll show you with the 28. Now remember, the 28 has an auto safety, so all I have to do is put my blade up against the edge of the ruler, and just as I apply pressure, the safety opens and I can cut with that. Whenever I open a new pack of rotary blades, I always keep the old packaging so that I can put my dull blades in. And so it's important to change your blade often because that's going to make cutting easier. And I'm going to show you how on this rotary cutter to cut it. And there's a little arrow here that says to unscrew it going clockwise. So I'm going to turn that and take the bolt out. And on the 28, there is also a bolt right here. So I could also, but this one turns counterclockwise. And this is how I could take the bolt off of this one. This is going to be the easiest to change because you just take the bolt out, the blade comes off, you put a new blade on and put the bolt right back in. This one is going to be a little bit more complex though because there is a shield here that covers the blade, and so with some gentle pressure you can push this off, and you can see it's dirty, so it is a good idea to clean these out. And right away I am going to put my old blade in its case here so that I don't get hurt. Now I'm going to have to wipe off my mat. It's covered in lint and oil, and there always is quite a bit of lint when you change these. Wipe all that out while I'm here. Okay, so there are different slots here. There's a slot for the case, and then the blade has to go underneath up against this red portion here. So I'm going to put the little flower. Let's wipe the flower off too. Wipe the flour off, And now we're going to get a new blade. And these blades are very oily and they kind of stick together because they're oily. And so when you get them out of the case, it's a good idea to kind of push on them apart. And you can see I actually have two blades here when I thought I just had one left. So now I've got these two blades, and don't wipe the oil off. You want to keep your blade oily. That helps it turn and rotate. And then we're going to put this in the bottom slot there, which is where my safety is, not in the slot where I put my, wipe this off too, this is filthy too. It's always a good idea just to keep some scraps around for cleaning. We might have to actually we got a lot of dirt and oil on this. Okay, and I'm going to wipe this off too. There. Now I've got all of that old lint out of my slide protector here, and I'm just going to slide that in and pull it down. I can always think that that's the hardest part, getting that to click in. Now we unscrewed this going clockwise, so now we're going to screw it back in going counterclockwise. And you don't need to screw it really, really super tight, because if you do, your blade won't roll. So it's okay to have it just a little bit loose, and you can check it on occasion and just see. Just get it loose enough that it rolls. And now let's go ahead and practice cutting a couple times, and you can see that new blade cuts beautifully. And I always cut a scrap a couple times just to get the oil right off the edge of my blade where I will be actually on my good fabric. So that looks great. And I'm put my safety back on. I really hope you enjoyed this video about rotary cutting. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you have questions, just let me know down below. And of course, please like and subscribe and tell your friends. Happy quilting!